hopefully everything will work. So we all live there, Deirdre.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, big welcome everybody and happy Friday. And as you can see, today we're feeling green, 40 shades of green, because listen, it's Patrick's Day, St. Paddy's Day next Wednesday. So that's what we're all about today. And we're going to have lots of giveaways. So while you're thinking there, start thinking about a good, funny joke, okay? Because we have a great prize later on for a funny Irish joke. Don't start posting them yet. Has to be a Paddy joke, yeah. Has to be an Irish Paddy joke. And the winner will have to be in Ireland, won't they? Because we have to get posted out to them.
Yeah.
So anybody outside Ireland, of course you can put up your Paddy joke, but the winner unfortunately will have to be somebody in Ireland.
Well, we have the three others. So we have three other prizes in Ireland, and the other three can be anywhere in the world. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so the other three. So we've loads of prizes to give away. So yes, so start thinking of your Paddy's Day joke. So anybody that has tuned in, you know the usual. You just know the story. As my cousin, or as my little niece in Sligo says, tell us what the weather is like. So what's the weather like around the country and around the world? Because here in Dublin, if you look out the window, the sun is shining, the sky is a grey blue. Oh my God, it would freeze the balls off a brass monkey. It's absolutely bitter cold out. And last night, yesterday evening and all, we had huge hailstones. So, what's anybody watching, Deirdre?
Yes, we have a good few people watching in. Coco says she gave birth on the 17th, so
oh,
we have a
right.
birthday on Paddy's Day.
Very good.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. in Syracuse in New York, USA.
Big welcome. You're up nice and early. Are you heading off to work? You are. So today I'm going to be starting off with some Paddy's Day bows, okay?
Now, is it Patty's Day or Paddy's Day?
Oh, no, Paddy. No, there's no Patty. No, there's no Patty. The Americans say that, don't they? Yeah. No, Paddy's Day. Paddy's Day jokes. Paddy's Day bows, okay? Because if you want to maybe decorate your house, you know what I mean? You might have some decorations left from last year. Well, unless you've been organised and you went online, it's impossible. All these shops are closed, obviously, because we're during lockdown. But most flower shops sell these ribbons. And again, you can maybe buy a couple of yards off them, or a couple of meters. So to make up your bow using 3 colours, you're going to need, I'm going to say 1.5 meters of the 3 different colours. Now, I just say 1.5 yards, but like 1.5 meters is approximately the same, because when you see how roughly I measure it. So that's 1 yard, and there's a half yard. So 1.5 yards of white, 1.5 yards of orange, and you can see there it's not exact, and 1.5 yards or meters or arm stretches, whatever you want to call them, trying to go on the beginning over here. So there again, 1.5 yards of green. So I do this twice because I bet we'll have a couple of late viewers and they'll be wondering how I did it. So I'm going to layer the colours, the green, and we're going to put the white in the middle. So with the green on one side, the orange on the other side. People to say, should it be gold? You know, there'll be green, white and gold, green, white and orange. And you can also have some strips ready for tying up the bows. And these can be any lengths that you want. If you're using these for decoration, you could maybe make them a little bit longer than what I'm doing there. So again, just on the table, I have a green, white and orange cut in a shorter strip. So what you're going to do is with your 1.5 meters, 1.5 yards of ribbon, okay, you're going to wrap them loosely and you're going to make a circle, and I call it 8 inches wide. Now, you'll probably say, Jesus, she's not onto the metric at all. I'm not actually sure how many centimeters 8 inches is. If somebody is watching, they might tell me, just that wasn't a bad guess.
Somebody said Paddy walked into a bar and said, ouch.
Very good. That's a good one. Short and sweet sometimes is actually the best ones. So there's our 3 layers of ribbon wrapped around into approximately an 8-inch circle. And I always say the width of an A4 page, you know, like a typing page, is 8 inches. You're going to fold that circle over in half and you're going to give it a good crease, you see, on the folded side. On the folded side of the ribbon, you're going to get your scissors and you're going to cut out 2 triangles. If you watched me before doing this, I often describe these as being 2 sharp triangles. And I don't think we've any men watching, have we? And if we haven't got any men watching, we normally say it's like making a pair of knickers, you know, that sort of way. 2 high leg cuts and a little G-string in the centre. Now, there's probably a man watching now, and then we just call it a dicky bow shape. So to the back of the dicky bow shape, I'm going to add in our strip of green, our strip of white, and these aren't the same size, and our strip of orange. So these are going to be our tails, you see, coming out the back of the bow. And you can spend ages getting them the same length. You can see there I didn't. I have them random. Now off one of the colours, any colour you want, I'm taking the green one because it's the easiest one to get at. I'm tearing off about a centimetre of ribbon, so just a skinny little strip of ribbon. And I'm going to tie that around the centre of the dicky bow. And at the back here, I'm going to tie a double knot. Now, even anybody that's watching in the flower business, and you may be making up bunches of flowers with maybe orange lilies, green and white chrysanthemums, or white large carnations, and the green envy chrysanthemums, or the feeling dark green chrysanthemums. And again, just to decorate them, you could put a bow on them.
Mary's saying the ribbon is blue, it's not green. That's just the
yeah, and I think
no, the ribbon.
All right, but the balloon is showing up blue as well. But this is, it's a Kelly dark green. It's probably just the colour, the lighting, I don't know. Now again, if you've watched me before, I normally lick my finger, but Deirdre just be giving out to me with COVID, so I have a little bucket of water here. So to open out our bow, you pull the first loop that's on the inside, which happens to be a tail, the end of the ribbon. So as I pull her out, I twist it to my belly. The second colour, which is going to be the white, I'm going to also twist that to my belly. And the third one, which is probably going to be a straight one as well, I'm going to twist that to me. So sometimes I call it to me, to you. Now I'm on to the next three. So it's orange to you, white to you, and green to you. Now watch. Orange to me, white to me, green to me. Opposite daisies. Orange to you, white to you, green to you. Orange to me, white to me, and do what you like with the last green one. And by doing that, that's how you get it. Now the three strips at the beginning, you can see there's the orange one there. You can just fold them over, and you can do like a little cut upwards into the ribbon. Now I'm going to do exactly the same size on the same thing on the opposite side. So Deirdre, what's the weather like around the country?
Well, first of all, Trisha Kenny says, why shouldn't you iron a 4-leaf clover? Because you might press your luck.
Very good, Trisha, very good. Boom, boom.
Yeah, no, we're getting lots of weather forecasts, as in the weather is very cold but sunny. There was hailstones in Kerry this morning. What did St. Patrick say when he was driving the snakes out of Ireland? Are you all right in the back, lads? There's not much room in the back of the Mini.
Very good, very good, very good. So then that's our bow opened up on both sides, and we have our two little green strips that we tied it up with. I can see one there, I can't see the other one, it'll turn up in a second. And then we have all them extra tails, you see, that I added, you see, to the back of the bow. And you can see the way I'm just giving them a chuck, you see, to bring them down. And then what I'm going to do is, using the tops of my nails, I'm going to just strip them down into little skinny strips. And you'll find with the ribbon, start at the top and run your fingers kind of like down it. And you can tear it into as many strips as you want. And that's why I wasn't worried at the beginning about keeping all these even or keeping them all the same length, because you can see there, it doesn't matter. So these would look brilliant like hung out your window or on your door or whatever, to see as your Patrick's Day bow. And if you want to, you can get your scissors. Now, don't open the scissors. Use the blades of the scissors, and you can stretch it along the ribbon, and to see the way it can make your curls a little bit curlier. Now, I am going to do that again, and somebody then that wants to make a couple of little notes on making their Patrick's Day bow, and any questions, post them in the comments below. And again, this is going into the magic bucket, by the way, and the girls there that are watching for us, our tutors, they'll answer all your questions.
Paddy was selling his pet python on eBay. Some bloke rang him and asked him, is it big, Paddy? Paddy replied, it's massive. The bloke said, how many feet? None, it's a feckin' snake.
That's brilliant. Very good. It's
cold in a thigh. Somebody was on there and says, African, it's 32 degrees.
Oh my God, making us mad jealous, making us mad jealous. So again, you can see there, I've measured out so casually and so roughly 1.5 yards or 1.5 meters of green, 1.5 meters of white, 1.5 meters of orange, or what I did was I done an arm stretch and a bit. An arm stretch and a bit of my three colours. I'm going to layer the three colours together, so our green, white, and our orange, okay? I'm going to wind them around my two hands. I'm kind of like making a circle, and the size of the circle is 8 inches. Has anybody put up what 8 inches is in centimetres?
Somebody said 2.5 centimetres to 1 inch.
Okay, so work that out.
8 by 2 is
I'm trimming these a little bit shorter.
20 centimetres.
Okay, so 20 centimetres thereabouts. Get in there, scissors.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Irish stew.
Irish stew who?
Irish stew in the name of the law.
Very good, very good. So again, we're getting our circle and we're folding it over in half, and we're going to crease it on our fold. And with our scissors then, we're going to cut out our 2 triangles. Remember the sexy pair of knickers, 2 high leg cuts, little G-string in the middle, and a nice sexy pair of knickers. The skinnier that middle is on your bow, the better. and you open it out like a dicky bow and you hold it in the center. Now, if you decided this time that you only want to have green strings coming out of it, because maybe if you're tying it on a bouquet, all them colors might be a little bit too much. So again, you can keep it kind of simple this time by just adding in one strip of ribbon, and you rest that lengthways at the back of your dicky bow. And you tear a skinny piece off one side, which is less than a centimetre. You wrap that across the bow, and you're then going to tie the double knot on the opposite side. And you'll find with me, I use my spare tire there. Now, as much as I try to get rid of that spare tire, so I have to keep it for opening my bows and tying up my bows. So you're tying a double knot as tight as you possibly can, and then you're tying a second knot. You're laughing away there.
I know, the jokes are coming in good at the moment. Why shouldn't you borrow money from a leprechaun? Because they're always a little short.
Very good, very good. So again, I wet my fingers, and the inside loop twisted to me, inside loop twisted to me, inside loop twisted to me. And then you go the opposite with the next lot. So inside loop, twisted to you, inside loop, twisted to you, inside loop, twisted to you. Now I'm back to me. Inside loop, twisted to me, inside loop, twisted to me, inside loop, twisted to me, and then the last lot, inside loop, twisted to you, and so on. Now, if you've watched this before, you might say, God, the last time she did this, she went to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you, and I did. But you can see with 3 colours, it has to change. So basically, to me, to me, to me, to you, to you, to you. And you do the exact same thing on the opposite side. You treat the tail pieces as loops, so you still pull them whether it's to me or to you, and you can go back later and you can fancy them off. So Deirdre, give us another few jokes while I open up the other side.
Michelle, said it's her wedding anniversary today. And
happy anniversary, many years.
Asked her husband to buy her a hot tub for the garden, and he said, well, go run a bath.
And fart in it. And then you get your bubbles.
Let me see, what else have we got here? We have.
So there's our bow with just this simple string. So we have our 2 green skinny strings, which you can tie to see onto your balloons, okay? And then you have your 2 thicker tails coming down, which you can leave like that, and you can just fancy off the ends of them. Or you can do what I did with the previous bow, where I tore them all into skinny little strings, and then I showed you also how you could curl them using the scissors.
Maria Stafford said, so there's a reason why we have a spare tire.
Absolutely. So why else were we born with it? We weren't born with it, but we developed it as we matured. So there's our Patrick's Day bow. So hopefully, we can tie them on there. So hopefully that can kind of give you something to do at home. And sure, even if you haven't got the right ribbons, I'm just kind of twisting them around there because I haven't got rather than trying to struggle and tie a knot, you know, that way. But do you see how, like, I must actually get Deirdre to show you how to do them banners with the balloons. They are so easy. And again, using the florist ribbon, and it's just we hadn't got time this morning. We've a load more balloons there to blow up, but we were running out of hot air here this morning. She had to physically blow them balloons up. But like, she can make them, and she can do archways and garlands and hanging out the ceiling and so on. And they are so simple.
Well, we're not showing them out if you don't share.
Oh, are they not clicking share? So you have to click share.
Oh, we won't
start. Okay, everybody click share.
She said she's 5 years married today, but they're 32 years together.
Ah,
she's talking a long time.
Jesus, you were a bit slow before he proposed, wasn't he, Jamie Mac? I tell you.
Brenda Phillips says, Paddy finds a sandwich with 2 wires sticking out of it. He phones the police and says, Jesus, I've just found a sandwich that looks like a bomb. The operator said, is it chicken? No, I think it's beef.
That's very good. Brilliant, very good. Now, any kids that are watching, and this is only for the kids that are watching live now, not later on tonight, okay? So any kids, because I've got a little bird told me that not Maisie Sullivan, Maisie O'Halligan, I think. Maisie Halligan up in Tala might be watching this morning. So if she gives us a big hi and a big wave, I'm going to send her out a highlighter. So this is one of our magic highlighters that we have here at the school. They're in the shape of a flower, and you get obviously your 5 different colours. And if there's anybody else watching, a kid, it has to be a kid, no adults, all they have to do is give us a big high 5 there, let us know you're watching, and we'll organise to send a highlighter pen out to you too.
And I just see Sunflower Sue Whale is actually watching in there at the moment. We were talking about it this morning.
Yeah, her ears must have been burning because we've been talking about it for the last 2 days, because our beginner students, Module 1, they all started on Wednesday. And normally on day 2, we talk about buying the books, okay? I actually posted a photograph of the books on Instagram. Anybody that wants to pop over to our Instagram page and you'll see it. And I put the link up for Sunflower Sue Whale and where you can buy the books direct from her. Definitely buy the flower book and the foliage book. I normally say for our industry, like, you know, for we're teaching at the moment, the houseplant isn't as important, but the amount of people who are raging, or they're saying, oh my God, I'd love the houseplant as well. And she does a deal. 1 book is such a price, 2 books it's cheaper, and 3 books it's even cheaper. And I bet if you mentioned the word Case Flower School, she has to look after it. She has to throw something in. Isn't that right, Sue? We always like a little bargain, us Irish people. So today we're going to do a Paddy's Day door wreath. Now you might say I've done door wreaths last week.
And you might give a quick shout out. Pappy is watching.
Oh, hiya, Pappy. So Pappy would be Graham, the cupcake bloke. You always hear me talking about the cupcake bloke, and that's his I think it is his younger brother. Pappy is watching, and his mum is Anne, and they're down in Athy. So big hiya, Pappy. And Pappy, if you'd love a highlighter pen, just put your hands up there, and we'll get one out in the post to you today. Now, I know last week we did door wreaths, and the week before, and the week before, but the 3 ones, the 3 styles have been completely different. And today I'm going to do door wreaths again, our 4th style, and this one is completely different. And today, everything I'm using is out of the garden. Everything has been foraged. So I bought nothing in, because I know last week people were saying, God, that they buy the foliage, and yes, foliage can be expensive, okay? But like Deirdre went out to her own garden, and we got little bits of euonymus, and we have wild ivy in there. There's a bit of eucalyptus. She's bits of hebes. I'll go through all these in a little while. And sure, listen, if you get the foliage book from Sue Whale, you'll see all the different names of foliages that you could use. So all the foliage is foraged from Walkinstown in County Dublin. And all our fresh manure-smelling straw, or cow-smelling straw, is all the way from County Sligo. So do you remember we posted a video last week of Dara, age 10, flogging me off the bag of straw. So this is still out of the same bag of straw. So using one of our 10-inch wire frames.
Tell me a joke.
Oh, go on, tell your joke. So I'm going to start mossing or strawing up the base, and you seen this last week. So I'll shut up and we let Deirdre take over.
I've been waiting to tell this joke for ages, and I just told us.
When I say we've been in knots of laughing here this morning, if anyone was outside the door, they say, what was them 2 happy spas like in there? We were in knots of laughing, falling off the chair. We're reading out all the Irish jokes here this morning.
Okay, so Paddy says to Murphy, Jesus, Murphy, why do the scuba divers, when they're jumping off the boat, go in backwards into the water? And Murphy said, Jesus, Paddy, sure, they went in forward, they'd stay in the boat. You're not supposed to laugh at your own joke.
I just think that was brilliant. You just imagine them on the boat going forward into it. I think you deserve a highlighter. So go on, beat that one, girls. Beat that one there. Anyone else got a good Irish joke?
Sunglar Sue says thank you. She saw the pic and she's been busy packing books for the last few days. Cheers to all. Tricia Kenny liked me jokes.
Patricia'd like that, I think. She's our biggest fan.
I just put myself on mute. This is my first video and I'm watching from Skegness in England, and I love
Skegness.
Hello.
Wasn't that the place, the mountain that wasn't a mountain? Isn't that where that film was filmed, Skegness? I thought there was definitely some movie or something.
Jacqueline Fallon.
Hey, Jacqueline, how are you? Big hello to you.
A newbie one.
A newbie, oh, I'll tell you know what I mean? You'd want to be paid to watch this. It's an absolutely, and we're here every Friday at 11 o'clock for a free live class. Now, just for any newbies, because obviously she's a newbie and she won't know how to do this. So the one I'm using is a roll of real wire, and I twisted it onto the wire frame. She's not laughing reading these jokes. I think she was on the drink this morning. So what I'm doing is I'm getting basically fresh straw. This straw was literally salvaged or foraged off a farm in Sligo. Literally picked it up off the ground, put it into a plastic bag. I'm bunching it up in my hands there, as you can see. I'm resting it onto the wire frame, and then with the real wire, but you could use a ball of twine, is I'm wrapping it on. I'm nearly around to where I started, and I'm going to go around the second time. Well, I better let her read out the joke. She's wetting herself there. Go on.
My muse says you play a tonic and you can slip in the highlighters. Paddy was in bed with his wife, and his wife.
Now keep it cleaner. There's kids watching here.
Okay, his wife mobile rang at 3 o'clock in the morning. Paddy answers the phone and says, "Speck off and call the weather forecast." And his wife says, "Who's that?" He says, "Some need to ask him. It's coast clear."
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think
only the Irish can laugh at themselves. Okay, Marjorie, I love that. Send me a DM PM and I'm going to give you a little prize.
Okay, so send a DM there and you're going to get a prize. So we're back around here nearly to where I started, and you can see that's how easy it is to straw up a frame. And for any of the newbies, if you go back last week, because I get a little bit more information of doing this, like step by step, because that's the one I did last week. Now I didn't use it last week, but I'm going to use it this week. But also last week I showed how to do it using the Q press branches, and I used that one last week. And go back to the week before and the week before and the week before, because as I said, we're always showing something new. It's not always door wreaths, by the way. We do flower arrangements, but this week we've already been on Monday doing, it seems ages ago, doesn't it? International Women's Day was last Monday, and we did a couple of like fresh flower arrangements. So I just thought today, as I said, we wanted to keep it kind of Paddy's Day, and there'll be a couple of like new things just to show you. So when you're back around to the beginning with the real wire, you can cut off your real wire, and then the piece of wire that's left over, you stick it back down into the frame, anywhere at all, and there's your frames wired up. So that's a larger size and a smaller size done today. And again, as everybody knows, we have a magic bucket under the table here, and all the rubbish just flows down into it. So we went out into the garden, and we done this yesterday because I knew. Okay, Deirdre went out into the garden, and what she did was she basically cut up pieces of greenery, right? Well, she brought it in branches, and I did recut it smaller. I'm going to take the wire off the end of that. So to give you an idea, that's about the length that we cut, right? And then I done this yesterday evening, and I got, say, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 bits of, just happened to be all eucalyptus there, and a bit of hebe. Basically bunched it together because I done them all different, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like purposely, it's whatever came to my hand. So that one has a bit of euonymus in it, and that one there has a little bit of wild ivy in it. They're probably, she robbed more eucalyptus than anything else. So got them all bunched together, and using on a 20 gauge wire, so a heavier gauge wire, right? I'm making what we call a hook, and I'm wrapping it around the end. Now, people were saying to me that I also mentioned about using the real wire. I just cut off the spare wire, by the way. It's still all caught together there. But if you don't want to use the florist wires, you can just get your real wire. It's easier, actually. And just get the real wire, hold it with your thumb, wrap it around there 5 or 6 or 7 times. Do you get the idea? And then cut it back off again. Just tuck it in there nice and tight, and that'll hold it just as well. But we do sell a kit. It's called a wreath making kit. We have it on our website, and you get 3 frames. Now, I have a good view at the moment with 1 big one and 2 small ones in it, okay? So if you want to copy the one I'm doing today, you need to get that one. There's a bunch of wires in it, but you can manage with the real wire, and there's also a roll of real wire in it. So most of the stuff, as I said, is stuff that you can forage, okay? Obviously, we need the country people on the straw, and like last week we mentioned, maybe I need the country people. I'll sell a few bags of straw to the dubs up here in the city. Pieces of greenery out to your garden. Somebody mentioned last week that Tesco's in Youghal has a fabulous car park, and there's loads of pittosporum and fasciolus. Now, I wouldn't tell anybody to go and rob foliage in Youghal Park.
It just might need a trim.
It just might need a little bit of a trim.
Like our own hair.
I have a bit of wax flower left over from last week or last Monday. Do you remember I was using this in Among the Roses? It's absolutely perfect. And again, I just wrapped a wire around it just to bunch it up. So I'll start. I'm going to be doing
what do you call it? An Irish spider.
An Irish spider. I don't. Colleen something.
Paddy Longlegs.
Paddy Longlegs. Very good. Very good. So to make our frame, first of all, attach on your wire. So hold it with your thumb and wrap it around the same spot 2 or 3 times just to get it attached, okay? With your bunches of greenery, you can rest it directly onto the frame, and again, your wire gets wrapped around 2 or 3 times, you see, to hold it in place. But to make your wreath a little bit bulkier, you can place your foliage on an angle, and this makes it kind of come out that little bit bigger. Do you see like the way I placed that one on an angle? And can you see at the back how much it has come out? Now, the week before last, actually last week's was quite a big one that we made. But what I do here is every second one, I place one onto the frame, and then I'll place one out on an angle, okay? And then it'll just kind of like show you like different techniques. And ever so often, not all the time, because I want to make 2 wreaths here this morning, I'm going to add in a little bit of wax flower here and there just to kind of show you. So all I'm doing is wrapping the real wire around as we go. There we go, it's a bit stiff, this one. And again, I have a little bunch that we're going to have like sticking out of the frame.
Linda McLean says that she uses parking spots for foliage all the time.
Parking spots.
So you park into this bit of, and you know, where it's hitting off your car, that really needs
oh,
to be
definitely.
trimmed.
So you could scratch yourself, and imagine if the piece of eucalyptus like rubbed off your clothes and it could make you dirty.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, and I always say to the students, you know, and I know the walk-around shops are closed at the moment, but if you know anybody in the building trade, and so the building trade, they're all on lockdown at the moment. You know the day glow jackets, okay, that the builders wear. Get yourself a day glow jacket. Do you ever be in the car and you see a motorbike pulling up behind you and your man's wearing a day glow jacket, because they all wear them from a safety point of view, but immediately you think the guards, you know the way, and it's not the guards at all, it's just some fecker on a motorbike or a push bike coming up beside you. If you wear a day glow jacket and always have your scissors on the door of the car, nobody would dream of questioning you, like, who are you cutting the bushes? You know the way, because immediately they think it's like a kind of a bit of an official statement when you have a day glow jacket on you. So normally you're able to buy them in the walk around shops for £5, you know the way, they're normally cheap. But again, if you know anybody that's in the building trade, so they have loads of dirty ones. Now wash them, okay, but still be dirty looking, because normally they're kind of like that sort of effect. Can you see how I'm working out here? Yeah. There's a little bit of what's your one there? Your viburnum flare is on that one there. So again, I'm going to add in a little bit of wax flare here and there, just to give it a little bit of a texture. Can you see the difference? So all this stuff is for free, you know what I mean? It has,
and I just say, for anybody watching this, Janette, on the replay, they really should read the comments. If Janette doesn't put a smile on your face, my God, the comments will, the amount of hilarious jokes. I just
like fair play to us, absolutely fair play to us, because that's the whole thing about, say, our live classes. It's the interaction, like, you know what I mean? We, like, as I said this morning, the two of us were literally, as we say in Dublin, wetting ourselves, you know, that way, like reading, like Deirdre was Googling jokes because she thought she'd have to read some out, but it doesn't look like you'll have to. They're providing them enough. And absolutely, that's what we want at the moment, especially after Micheál Martin announced the other day that we might be in this lockdown for another second month, you know, that way. Like, it's just a disaster, but there's nothing we can do. We have to keep safe.
You were saying it would come up in your Facebook memories about this time last year, Italy had gone into a lockdown.
Yeah, like that came up yesterday. It was like, and somebody had photographs of Italy last year, the fountain, what's the fountain? The Trevi fountain, and the whole place deserted. And we're all here in Ireland, like completely innocent, saying, oh, sure, that's in Italy, like that's never going to happen here, the stupid Italians and so on. Did we ever dream like what was going to happen? But listen, please God, we're all safe. The vaccine is on the way. It was lovely last night when they announced that the nursing homes now are going to allow 2 visits a week. Like, I think for anybody out there that has a parent in a nursing home, it must be heartbreaking for you, or anybody close to you, not just a parent, like not being able to visit them. I just think that's just the saddest thing. You know, it really is. It's heartbreaking. And remember, like, we have Mother's Day this weekend, but obviously not everybody watching is lucky enough, you know what I mean, like ourselves, to still have our mother that we can go and visit her and annoy her. Well, we're lucky because our mother lives right beside us, and we're kind of keeping kind of to the bubble that's only ourselves visiting. But I know there's lots of people there watching and haven't seen their mum in months. Some of you, maybe your mum has passed on, and obviously some of you, your mum might be in a nursing home. So listen, my heart goes out to you. I really, really do. It's so hard. It's so sad. And just please God, things are definitely on the mend. Again, just to let you know, to see how this is coming together.
Somebody just wants to know, you know, what's the white flowery stuff you're using?
Wax flare. So just a little bit of wax flare. It was left over from last week. I used it in the demonstrations. Like last Friday, I used it in the flower arrangements, and last Monday I used it in among the lovely Memory Lane roses. Did you get to see it? Do you remember I showed you the lovely twig hearts that I bought in the wholesalers? And I've done it, well, I thought it was a nice, like, Memory Lane rose spray on it, using a little bit of wax flare as well. So if you get a chance, look back to last week.
Let them know what we're going to be. So
did anybody like me hairband?
Actually, nobody mentioned
Jesus, nobody mentioned me hairband today. Does anybody not like me hairband? Jeannie, my mum, Nanny Kay, got in and knit me a Paddy's Day hairband. And I thought you would all be mad about it, so nobody liked me hairband.
Well, not Jeff though. We see what they have to say.
Okay. But so I'm just at the end there, just adding in our last piece of greenery. You often watch me saying the wiggle and wangle. You see the way I wiggle the wire in between it so I don't flatten it all down. And at the back here, I'm just going to cut off our wire, and I'm going to stick the wire back down into our straw base. And that'll be our first ring. Now I have to do a second one, okay? Now the second one I'm going to keep smaller. I'm going to keep directly onto the base for 2 reasons. I have very little bunches left over, that's why, so I want to make 2. And secondly, I purposely want this one to be a little bit smaller.
So then Rose Phillips says she loves your hairband, and Frances said the hairband is lovely, she's jealous. And Sylvia loves your hairband, they all love it. Somebody says there's too much orange in it, but the same as orange.
Well, she's not going to win one then, because Nanny Kay made a spare hairband, you know, that way, for anybody that would like a hairband. Now we've only got one, and it obviously has to be somebody in Ireland, because I want to get it in the post to you today that you'll have it for next Wednesday to wear. So No expenses spared, by the way. And it's a little bit bigger and chunkier than mine. My hair is very short, you know that way. So it would suit somebody with long hair, you know that way, or longer hair than me anyway. So if anybody has a lot of hair and would like a Paddy's Day hairband.
Lorraine said it's lovely. All you need is your Irish dancing costume.
That'll be tomorrow. I'll have that on tomorrow. I actually have an Irish dancing costume at home, believe it or not. Well, I was about 4, I was. So I don't think it'll fit me. So you can see I'm making this one just that little bit smaller, but the same technique. Everything is being wrapped on using the real wire. And again, all the bunches are different. They're not all exactly the same. Little bits of hebe, little bits of euonymus, little bits of viburnum, little bits of wild ivy, all mixed in among the eucalyptus. So I'm slightly angling a bit of this here and there, adding in another bit of wax flare here and there, and basically just getting the material onto the base.
Bernie Hurley, 19 Irishmen go to the cinema. The ticket lady says, "Why so many of you?" Paddy replied, "The film says over 18.
That's just so typical, isn't it?
It's so typical Irish.
Now I know there's probably a couple of Americans watching and saying, "Are they thick altogether?" Like laugh. But that's the thing about Irish jokes. They're just so stupid, you know that way. You have to laugh, as we just say. You have to laugh.
And it's good to laugh at yourself.
Absolutely. And sure, there's nothing else we can be laughing at the moment. Sure, the pubs are closed. Can you imagine St. Paddy's Day in Ireland? And well, I won't say everybody will be sober because they probably will have all the off licenses bought out at this stage. But it'll be a bit of crack of it.
Let me see. I didn't notice your headband. It's lovely. Enjoying your jokes as well. Sue. Just somebody asked about the books, you know, just to show them there.
So this is the magic tea towel, you know what I mean, for drying your hands, pair of black jeans, okay? So these are the little books that we recommend all our students to buy. Like over the past few years, we've always recommended them. This one here is well tattered, as you can see. This is like the Bible, okay? No matter, like say that girl asking about the wax flower, how to condition it, how to treat it, it'll all be in this book. You know, botanical names, Latin names, if it's sick, if it's tired, if it's dead, if it's alive, it tells you basically everything in this book. This book is brilliant. Anybody who's interested in flowers, you need this book, okay? Now this one is just as good, and especially if you're interested in the door wreaths, this will be a fabulous book. You see, it's all about the foliages, you know, and commercial foliage as well as like foliages that we use in flower arranging. So I'm not going to say it's not really a gardening book, but it's really for people that are doing floristry, flower arranging, and foliages that you can use. Again, it's alphabetical, it's brilliant. And I normally say to the students, if you can afford it, buy the 2 of these because they're brilliant. Now, I'm not knocking this book is brilliant, but as you know, I'm not a horticulturist, I'm not really into plants, you know, that way. So I just say to the students, there's normally a discount when you buy the 3rd one. So absolutely, and if you do go into a flower shop, even if you're not trained as a horticulturist, it's great to know a bit about plants, or you just read it on the side and then you pretend that you know about it. So again, oops, daisy. Oh, that must be the free bookmark that we got.
Oh yeah.
So that'll tell you how often I look through this book. So again, if you can afford it, but I'm amazed at the amount of students who said, "Oh God, I definitely would want the houseplant book as well." So that's the 3 little books, just called Houseplants, Cut Foliage,
and Sinead,
Cut Flowers.
on StreamYard, Sinead has put the Instagram handle and the link to buy the books.
And Sue Whale is there herself. Put up the link to your Facebook, your Instagram, your website, do whatever you want. We're all about promoting and sharing everybody here. And again, if there's any flower shops watching and they want to promote like something that they're doing for Mother's Day, absolutely. This is going to be such a busy weekend for flower shops all over well, I won't say all over the world because it's not Mother's Day in some of the countries, you know that way. And there's not a bunch of greenery fall down on the floor there, Deirdre. I'm just about at the end here.
You want me to see if I can get you?
No, do you know what? I'll make out of it because I'm going to put a big bow there. So you can see I've just ran out, you know that way. But don't worry, you know what I mean? It'll be all right on the night, as we say. We'll make up something and I'm going to sort it out. So absolutely, let there be no panic.
Aisling Walsh has joined in from
Hi,
Sligo.
Aisling. That's my favourite niece down in Sligo, Aisling. And it was her brother, Dara, who got all the straw for me. But Aisling was there supervising, she was, holding the bag, she was. So I have a little bit of a gap where with the other one, I was able to get it like finished off. And in total, I had 38 bunches of greenery between the 2 of them, in case somebody asked you that. So don't worry about that gap. I'll sort that out later on. So I'm going to get this wire and stick it back down into it. Now what I want to do is decorate them. I just need to get a little bit of kitchen towel, just dry it off. Oh yeah, that was something I forgot to say to you. Yesterday, I said, Deirdre brought the greenery in yesterday, eating my own hair I am, and I cut it all up and I wired it. And then what I did was I put it all down into a bucket of water and I absolutely drowned it. And this morning then I emptied the bucket of water, and that's why the greenery looks so lush. And because it has absorbed a lot of water, yeah, it was dripping. You can see there the table is absolutely soaking wet, but it'll be fine, it will. So that's going to stay fresh on the door for ages. And then what will happen is the eucalyptus will just dry out. That's why I mostly use eucalyptus. It'll dry out. The ivy, that dries out. You'd be amazed like how well that can hold up. The wax flower will dry out. The hebe's not too bad, and the euonymus is not great, you know, that way. So some of the stuff will kind of fall off it. But listen, I have the one that I did 2 weeks ago here on the class with the pink peonies on it. You remember the artificial peonies? And I was only saying to Deirdre this morning, it looks fabulous. Now this morning I got green. As I said, we're keeping everything green here today. Hopefully they look green, do they?
Yeah, they do look green, yeah.
Okay, so the green artificial hydrangeas, and you're all great there for telling us where you can buy your artificial flowers. I know the range seems to be a place that comes up quite a lot. A lot of people go to the range. Now last week I used white hydrangeas, okay? So again, I'm cutting up the little florets because I feel like the big hydrangea is a bit too big for what I'm going to do today. It's up to you. You can leave them in big ones if you want to. I'm just kind of bunching two of them together. Because there's a little fork, I'm kind of sticking the wire, just see between the fork. I'm bending it over into what we call our hairpin bend, and then I'm just wrapping it around the end. But you can just do it like I showed you last week, squashing the ends, make a hairpin bend, rest it on, and then wrap it around. And again, I'm using our 20 gauge wires. You'll need a 20 gauge wire to get through the moss, or to the straw. And normally in the kit, I send you out the bunch of them. So even though you don't need the wires for making the bunches of greenery, because you can use the real wire, if you want to put decoration onto it, you will need it. So I have some in the oven already of the hydrangeas, okay, wired up. And what I'm going to do is here and there, I'm going to put a couple of hydrangeas through this, and then I'll hold it up in a second. Off you go.
Yeah, so okay.
You're itching there to
say. I know we have a good one, and I have to find it. I have to think, I think this is good because this person has put in jokes on StreamYard, jokes on Instagram, on both Instagram.
Oh, so it has to get priced. It has to get priced.
Paddy dragged a huge box to the Antiques Roadshow in Dublin. Where did you get this box? Asked the expert. It's been in my loft for 40 years. To be sure, he replies. And I think it must be some kind of family heirloom, says the expert. Says Paddy. The expert says, tell me, Paddy, do you have any insurance? No, replies Paddy. He says, well, I think you should, because this is your water tank. That's Trisha Kenny. Trisha Kenny, send us on your address and we'll Poplar Row. We'll send on your the hairband.
And she's a fine bit of hair, so she'll be well able to.
But we need to have photographs of you modelling.
Yeah, and you'll have to model it afterwards. And Nanny Kay will be absolutely delighted. And sure, again, if you want.
And just I have 3 winners for our wreath door wreath giveaway.
Okay,
so I'm giving away 3 door wreath courses.
Just to show you how I'm going so far. To see what our green hydrangeas, okay? Just want to put a few extra here and there around the outside. Now these could be done with fresh hydrangeas as well. But listen, the hydrangeas at the moment that's available in the shops for sale, they're beautiful, they are, but they're too fresh, as in they're forced, they're out of season, they're not going to be as strong, and they won't dry out on your frame as the other ones will. If you give them a couple of months till they're stronger, or even the ones out of your own garden, they'll be perfect.
Sorry, so somebody's just saying that they missed module 1 that started last week. When is the next one?
Next module 1 is the 2nd of June, okay? So what I'll do is I'll get Janette to put up the link for that.
I just put it across the screen.
Grand. So that's module 1. It's starting on the 2nd of June. 4-week program. It's a commercial course. It's not a hobby course. It's for people who want to get a job in a flower shop. That's what it's all about. It's all commercial, costing, wholesalers, techniques, assembly, presentation, marketing yourself, branding yourself. You know what I mean? It's absolutely everything. There's obviously 4 modules in total, and I'm struggling with that one, so I'm going to get another one. So, there must be just a strong bit of straw here, you know, a strong bit of straw. So I'm just going to fish it.
Just while you're doing that, Janette, I'm just going to announce the winners of our door wreath course.
Okay, so this is where they get the course for free.
The winners of our door wreath course is Borrow Man Free Mantle on Instagram, and again they're putting up lots of jokes, and that's on the Case Flower School Instagram. Really funny ones. I did call out some of them. I just can't call them all out.
So what you have to do is message us or email us info@flowerschoolireland.com, and what we'll do is we'll send you the link, and you can then download the free online course. Now there's no materials comes with it. Or if you're in Ireland, I'll send you a kit.
Yeah.
but if you're not in Ireland, I can't. It's just too complicated with customs and all so on. It's just too complicated.
And Jackie Neelan, you're the other winner of the...
That's one of our students, Jackie Neelan. Yeah.
All right.
Is that the girl that came with the cake the other day?
Is it?
Yeah, JRCNEA or something like that. Isn't that her Instagram?
No, her name. No, she's not on. This was
okay.
on StreamYard. I think.
Let us know. Are you the same one? Same one. So if it was, we got a gorgeous. You've probably seen the photographs because Deirdre took a photograph of me stuffing my face with it. Gorgeous chocolate cake here the other day. So you can see she wasn't picked because she gave us the chocolate cake. And it mightn't be that same Jackie. It could be a different.
And for everybody else, we're giving €100 off the door wreath course using the code wreath100.
You're very good, Deirdre. You're very good.
I know.
You're
this was so
easy.
easy.
We have absolutely. Now again, we still have a little gap here, but don't be panicking. You know the way. So can you see where our two rings look? Do you see like how I'm matching them up, right? Now, Nanny Kay, oh, she's a great one, she is. She also made a couple of little satin roses. Now, she only made me 5 or 6 of them. So I'm just going to put 2 or 3 of them in each of the wreaths. So these are like little handmade satin kind of roses, which she makes like with the fabric ribbon. And on our bridal class, on our brooch bridal class, we also show our students how they can make these maybe in white satin lace, creams, whatever, and you can include them in brooch wedding bouquets, or you could do a wedding bouquet in all satin roses and then maybe just stud it, whatever. And for somebody who wants a keepsake wedding bouquet and to keep it forever. But this was a last minute thing. I said to Mum, any chance of making us a few satin roses? And I think it takes 12 minutes. Well, she used to have it down to 12 minutes. Probably if she hasn't done it in a while, it might take her a little bit longer. But normally 12-15 minutes it takes to make each of these roses. So there's a little bit of time in it. So I only have a couple of them in there, you know, the way, as you can see.
And actually, we must put that video on how to make those. She has got a video on how to make those roses. We must stick it up on our YouTube.
We must stick it up on our YouTube channel. Yeah. Now, what I had then was some of satin ribbon. So again, our Kelly Green satin ribbon. And I do have a link about how to make lots of bows. So I am going to do this bow with you. And it is a little bit, this one's a bit tricky, okay? Because I have showed you before how to do your collar bow. You know the way around your neck and the back part in and scrunch it in. I call it the collar bow, or what florists call it is the figure 8 bow. But I'm going to do a triple version of it. And I don't think live I've ever shown you this. I may have shown you a double one. But I tell you what, if you've got, because rather than spend ages demonstrating it, what you do, if you go to the website, actually Sinead will put up the link.
Yeah.
So Sinead will put the link up in the comments where you can actually go and watch lots of free videos how to make all the different bows that I show you. So again, around your neck and the back part into the front. But because I'm going to do a triple, we fold it up and we come back down again. And there I have a double. Hold it in the center. And then we fold it up and we come back down again. And there we have our triple. And then I'm going to scrunch it in. Now, I know you're going to say, God, you've done that real fast. But like, it could take me 20 minutes to do that in slow motion to make sure you got all the tricks. And I have it done in the video already. So you'll be able to watch that later.
Jackie Crowley says she bought wreaths as gifts for her friends for Christmas. She'd love to be able to make them herself. So
yeah,
there you go.
There you go. Absolutely no excuse. What you need to do, go to the website and you can buy the wreath making kit, and there'll be 3 rings in the kit, a large one and 2 smaller ones, okay? And I could have made that smaller one much larger by letting all the stuff stick out. I purposely kept it smaller, okay?
Okay, can I do the other joke?
Go on, go on, go on. While I open out my
you open out your bow, okay. Paddy and Murphy are working on a building site, and Paddy says to Murphy, I want a day off. And I'm going to pretend
I'm thinking of my husband on the building site, but go on. I'm going to do a bow in organza.
Okay, go on. Go on. So Paddy says, I'm going to pretend that I'm mad and I'm going to get a day off.
That sounds typical like my husband's employees.
So Paddy climbs up on the rafters, hangs upside down and shouts, I'm a light bulb, I'm a light bulb. And Murphy watches in amazement as the foreman shouts, Paddy, you're mad. Oh! So he leaves the site and Murphy starts packing up his kit as well. And the foreman says, where the hell do you think you're going? He says, I can't work in the feckin' dark.
Just imagine, do you know what? We have to go home early today, we will. We have to go home. So again, I'm just doing an organza bow, and again, that will be in the little videos. But I did this last week, witches, and we don't want to be doing the same thing. So you know that spare gap that I had left on the bow, on the wreath frame where I ran out? What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick in our organza bow first, and please God, it'll cover the gap, okay? So that wasn't my plan. I did plan on having enough foliage to cover it in completely. And then I'm going to add, because you know Ireland is all about the 40 shades of green. So now I'm going to add in my Kelly Green bow in on top of that. So again, I'm going to sticking our 20 gauge wires down into the straw. Again, I'm just on a hard part. Just straighten your wire back up again and aim for the hole again. So down we are into it. And again, pulling the wire tight. I'll pull the organza in underneath that there just to make it a bit fluffier. There's a little bit of a wire in that Kelly green ribbon, so I can kind of like loosen it out. And the wire that came through the other side, I'm just hooking it back into the straw frame just to hold it in place. Just turn this around there for a second and we fix out our bow. We're going grand. Here we are. Just tidy it up a little bit just to kind of show you what it's looking like, right? But what I plan to do is to do a double door swag. So using door wreath, door swag, door wreath. So I'm going to use some of the organza ribbon, okay? Will this be long enough? No, we'll just go a bit longer just to be on the safe side.
Be sure to be sure.
To be sure to be sure. So I'm going to loop this organza around our base here. So I'm just kind of hiding it in underneath the foliage. Okay.
Whose door is this?
You see what I have done here so far, right? And then our other one, I'm going to catch it in at the bottom of it. So again, I'm going to hook it in underneath the foliage. So can you see what I'm doing? As I said, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different. I just need to make sure that my bow is on the top. Okay, I'm just turning this one upside down here. I'm going to tie a knot with the two of them. Now you can have as big or as little space in between them. I don't want loads of space. And this obviously depends on your hall door that you have. So we had this discussion a few weeks ago about who lived in the posh house that had the big hall door, do you know that way? And who of them just had the door flap. They had to squeeze through it. So again, just tie that knot nice and tight there at the back. That is a bit hidden.
Gorgeous.
There we go. We both got flat.
I probably would shorten between the two of them, Janette.
Shorten it, okay. So we're back down there, kind of flat.
So while you're doing that, Lorraine says, how do you make sure the wires don't scratch the door?
So all the wires are hooked like a kind of a horseshoe at the back, and they're stuck back up into the frame so that there's no raw wires coming out the back of it at all. So I'm just tightening up the organza because I was kind of not allowing for the little bit of movement, you know, the way it kind of stretches. And as I said, I just wanted a small gap in between the two of them. Now you could sell these or give them away as a present as two separate wreaths if you want to.
If you like this, guys, we would love you to share.
Oh, absolutely. We want, and I'm not finished. I still have something else to do. A bit of gap there, but you're hoping you can see the camera.
No, I can't. Can you just actually bring it back over? It just wasn't on the Instagram camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Now there you are.
Okay, so I have to fix the bow. The bow's a little bit flattened after being turned upside down on the table, but I'm not finished. So you know yourselves, okay? Was there any leprechaun jokes?
There was a few leprechaun jokes.
So what we want is our little leprechaun, our singing leprechaun. So where else would you get it? Only in Ireland. So he's going to be hanging inside our bottom one. So let me see. I'm going to use a wire around his hat. So I'm kind of sticking it in here under his little gold buckle on his hat. And I'm just twisting the wire together here at the back. So can you see the way he's kind of hanging there out of it? I'm going to make him look like his arse is sitting on the bottom of the ring, but the wire is going to go into the top ring. So it's going into the straw base at the top. Again, I'm hitting something. So, oh, there we go. We're in. And for that girl that was asking, the wire that then came through the other side, I can't hold it up here because it's quite heavy. I'm doing like a U-bend and I'm sticking it back up into the straw. So there's no raw wires coming out the back of it. And that secures it. That again, that won't fall. So we have a little bit of a fix of our bow. I just click and share, girls and boys, okay? Because really, we put, by no expenses, we put a lot of effort into this morning's demonstration for you, for your Patrick's Day Dory. And we'd absolutely really appreciate if you click share. And again, share it to some of the groups that you're in, like not just share it to your page, like if you're in like a knitting bitch group, as we would call it, or a toddler group. Oh, do you know what I need to do? I need to do a loop at this end for hanging it on their knuckles.
Oh, hang it on the knuckles.
Because again, people always saying, how do you hang that up in the door?
Absolutely fabulous. Loving the leprechaun.
Are you click and share? Are you click and share?
Margaret Finley said she's shared twice.
Fair play to you, Margaret Finley. Absolutely, really, really appreciate it.
Francis says another fabulous demo.
Thanks a million. So did you? Oh, you did. You picked a hairband winner.
I did. We picked the hairband winner was Trisha Kenny. So Trisha, just drop us an email with your address. Borrowman Freeman on Instagram and Jackie Nealon on StreamYard. So I don't know what platform she was watching us on. You're the winner for the door wreath courses. How do you make sure the wires don't scratch?
So I'm doing a hook here at the top, and I'm just going to wind the loop back so you can't see the knot. Not as happy with me bow, you know, that sort of way. For all me talk about sending them to the blog to watch the bow, but anyway, was probably a bit of a rush job sitting it in.
You have another one there. Why don't you put the double one on?
Put the double one on.
Put that one on as well.
Cover the hole even bigger.
Yeah, and that's probably why the bowl's not sitting right, because
there's nothing
hole
underneath it. Yeah, we've a big hole there today. We have, you know, that way, and that wasn't supposed to happen. You know, that way. The idea was that the whole base was covered in, and then you stuck your bow on top of the green, as I've done every other week, you know, that way. But I miscalculated this morning. I don't normally do that now, but I did this morning, miscalculated. There we go. So
super.
Okay. It needs a bit of, we could do it Nanny K ironing the ribbons, you know that way.
You know they're not to iron the 4-leaf clover, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You flatten out your look. That was a brilliant.
Gorgeous Street, thanks so much for spreading the joy, Marie.
Okay, so here we go.
Oh, that's fab. Absolutely gorgeous.
So there is our Irish St. Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, door wreath, door swag. You could do them as 2 individuals, you know, that way you don't have to do it as a double, but that does look absolutely fabulous. And only here at Case Flower School, British eyes are smiling. You get to sing a leprechaun. So listen, make sure that you click share. We really, really appreciate everybody joining us. Did any of the kids give a Did any of the kids give a shout out?
I didn't notice, but they might have. But look, if the kids, drop us an email.
Drop us an email if the kids were watching only during the live, okay? And we'll send them out a magic highlighter. So Maisie Halligan, I think there's definitely one going in the post to you today. And we have to send one out to Charlie.
Oh yeah.
Because Maisie is a twin, she is. And what one twin gets, the other one has to get. So Maisie and Charlie, I'm going to send out 2 magic highlighters for when your mum is doing homeschooling with you, because I hear she's absolutely loving it.
I think she's
looking for other kids to take in. She's having such a great time. She's thinking of training to be a teacher. So listen, the very, very best of luck to everybody. Next Friday, we're not going to be here, okay? Because of being Paddy's week and so on, and we've a lot on, we have. So we're not going to be here. I need a big awe. Did you say awe? No, I need a bigger awe than that.
Oh.
So there's no live class next Friday, but we'll be back the following Friday. And I think that's Friday the 26th of March. And by God, is it going to be a whopper of a one. We have really absolutely loads planned for that day. And you'll be coming up to Easter. So we'll be all into Easter table arrangements, Easter arrangements, daffodils, loads and loads of designs. So put in your diary, Friday the 26th for the next live class. And next Friday, we won't be here. I don't know what you're going to do without us, but we're not going to be here. So you'll have to go and tune into Tommy Tiernan or someone else like that to entertain you. Listen, the very best of luck, everybody. Huge thanks for joining in. Huge thanks for all the jokes. I'm dying to, I'm going to make a cup of tea now, sit down and read them all. We'll get back to everybody that commented on the page. We will definitely respond to everybody. And again, please, please click share and spread the joy. See you all in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye. See you all.